This is a demonstration of using the token insert module and the entity reference field to create a way to inject or embed one content from one piece of content inside a WYSIWYG text area for another piece of content. So for instance, I might want to have a link to another piece of content and have that link embedded inside the text at a particular point in the text. Or I might even want to display another piece of content inside a piece of content. So I'm going to demonstrate a way that we can do that. And I've set up a few modules. And I'm going to get rid of the core stuff here. So basically what I have is I have entity reference. I'm going to use that to link two pieces of content together just in the same way that I normally would. And then I have, that requires the entity API. I'm using the entity connect module, and I'll just show you that. That's just a little helper that when I have an entity reference field and I want to create a new piece of content, it gives me a quick link to create a new piece of content. I'm using the token module because I'm going to do some things with tokens. That's how I'm going to insert my content inside another piece of content. Then I'm using the token filter module, and the token filter adds a filter that makes it possible for me to do this. And then there is a module called token insert, which works with the token filter module, and it actually adds a WYSIWYG button, a button to my WYSIWYG panel that allows me to insert a token inside a WYSIWYG area. So it comes with several modules, and I don't care about those up here. What I care about is the UI and the option to use token insert with the WYSIWYG. And then of course the WYSIWYG module itself. So I have enabled all these modules, and so far the only thing that I've done is I've created two content types. Just for illustration, I have a regular article content type, and I have another piece of content that I'm calling my micro content type. It actually doesn't have anything on it. It's just a title and a body, but it's just another piece of content. And then on my article content type, what I did is I added an entity reference field that is going to relate to that micro piece of content. In other words, I want to just attach a piece of micro content of this micro content type to my article. And so without the token filter functionality, what I would do here is I would add a piece of content, and I would see that I actually haven't even turned on my WYSIWYG yet. I have my title and my body, and then I've got a place here where I can choose a piece of content. I've got just a bunch of stuff that I created using the develop generate module. This is where the entity connect comes in, so that I can actually add a new piece of content directly from here if I wanted to, instead of choosing one. It's just a handy little gadget. Okay, but that's not exactly what I wanted to do. So I could with that create an article and attach another piece of content to it, but it's just going to display down below the article or next to the article. And in fact, what I want to do is I want to embed it inside the text of the article. So the next thing I want to do is set up my WYSIWYG. So I have WYSIWYG profile, and I'm going to use the CK editor and save that. And before I set this up, I need to go back into configuration because I also need to set up some filters. This is the token insert module, and what it does is it basically says, do I want to have every possible token available on the site, or do I want to limit it? So it gives me a list of all the possible tokens that I can have. I'm gonna start with the unlimited list for the moment, but I can limit it later. And then the other thing that I want to do is I need to go to my text format area, and this is where I normally set up my filters. And if I scroll down, let's see, I have a filter that's called replace tokens. This is the thing that the token filter module added. And what this does is it says if there is a token embedded in the body of the text, that's using this filter, it should replace the token with whatever the token is supposed to represent. So I need to add that, and I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to go back. Now I'm going to go back to my WYSIWYG editor, and I'm going to make sure that I've got it set up so I've got some buttons. And I'm going to skip all these other buttons that I might want to have, because the one I care about right here is this one called Insert Token. So it's going to add a button to my WYSIWYG editor that I can use to insert a token. So I'm going to save that. And now I'm ready to create some content and see how that changed. So now I'm going to add an article. And this time I have a WYSIWYG editor and I have this button on it. And the button is my Insert Token button. And you can see what this does is this gives me a list of all the possible tokens that exist in my site and allows me to embed that in a piece of content. So let's just try this out. And then I'm just going to do blah, blah, blah. And then here's the point where I want to insert the token. To insert, and I'm going to look for this related entity reference field that I just created. And that is somewhere. Here it is, my field related content, entity reference field. And then I need to have some related content or it's not going to do anything. So let's try and find something. So there's a piece of related content. So now I've got some related content. I'm going to save it. And you can see what it did is it went blah, 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 and then it gave me the name of the piece of related content that I chose to put in there. So if I go back and edit it, I can see what that looks like, and it just looks like a token. It's a regular token. But when I view, the token is converted to display what it does. Now, that's not a bad start, but let's say I want to get fancier than that and I want to do something like have a link to that article instead of just see the title of it. So I'm going to probably need a different token for that. And this is where the field tokens are a little wimpy in Drupal 7. What we need are the tokens that are created by the entity token module. So if you see that we've got, when I get down to the related content, when I enabled the entity token module, I basically got a second set of tokens. So the ones that the regular token module provides are the ones with the underscore. So this field related content is the one provided by the basic token module. And the problem is it's basically going to give me nothing but the title. It's not going to give me anything particularly interesting. What I really want is this second one. This is the one that's provided by the entity token module, the one with the dashes here. And the reason why I want to use that is because that one allows me to modify it. So I can say, do things like this. I can say I want the 0 value, which would be the first value, and I want the URL that's associated with the first value on that node. That's a multiple reference field, or multiple value field, so it needs some information about that, about which value it's looking for. So you can see that this has given me the path to the node, which is just that in order for this URL to pass through to work, I've got to say which value am I applying it to. So I could have a multiple value field, and I could have, let's say, different ones. Let's say I have 2 or 3 multiple values, and I have, let's have 2 or 3. So there's that one, and then maybe let's have a third one. So let's say I've got 3 values in that related field. And now if I edit it, I can say I want 0, which is the first one, or I can say 2, which is actually the third one. And I can save that. And of course, it's got the same path, so the path doesn't really change. Oh, the path does change because that is a different value. So now it's linking to node 1. I can say I want the title of this third value. So now I've got the title of the value that I'm linking to. So this is a pretty good start. What it doesn't do is it doesn't actually give me a link, and the reason it doesn't give me a link is because there's no token that creates a link. So one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to have this render as a link instead of just raw text. And then the second thing I might want to do is I might want to render the node itself, the body of the node itself inside here. So let's talk about ways that we can do those things. So one way that I can accomplish a link is to use a couple of tokens. Since I can see that I have a token for the path and I have a token for the title, so I could do something like this, and I could put my HTML in there. And basically just put the tokens in here. So in other words, I want the second value's URL inside an href, and then the title, and then I can go ahead and go blah 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 some more after that. So if I save that, and that didn't work because anchor tags. No, anchor tags are allowed. That's because I have to disable my rich text to do this. So I just got disable rich text. There we go. Yeah. So I gotta do this this way rather than in the WYSIWYG. This is a little awkward, but we're going to make this better in a minute here. So that, if I'm just writing raw HTML, I could do this. And this raw HTML is actually going to give me the link that I want. And there it is. So now I actually have a link to that node, which was what I was trying to get to. Okay, so it's possible to do exactly what I wanted to do. I can create a link using this token reference. The problem is I get this kind of messy thing at the end where I'm actually writing some raw HTML to make this work. So the next thing I want to do is add some custom code to make this a little bit nicer, and I'll deal with that in the next video.